Today we continue with our class laws of Yom Tov, and we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And today's topic, big topic is the same, Avak Loshen Hara. So Avak is the dust, Loshen Hara, and today's topic is secrets. That's the big problem today. Nobody can, not nobody, but many people cannot keep secrets, and even there is a secret and the person somehow feels that they have to share with somebody, which is absolutely wrong. If it is a secret, even your secret, so keep it secret. And so sometimes it's from my experience, some people got like very excited about each other, doesn't matter, like right, and they share the secrets, and then like when the situation went a little south, so this secret was told to the whole world. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. I mean, if you have secret, just keep it. Okay, so it says the most severe form of avak loshen avak rechilus involves statements that reveals information that one was told in confidence. Right, sharing confidential information to save someone from harm will be discussed later. Divulging secret breeds a lack of self-control in a speech-related matter, which leads to actual rechilus. When publicized in secret could provide damaging, doing so would be constitute speaking both avak rechilus and actual loshen hara. Even when no damage is foreseen, the mere violation of confidentiality refers to gossip monger. Okay, so let's do it again, and we try to listen. So again, if somebody told you is a secret, if they told you that not to tell anybody, or even it's understandable that you should not tell somebody, and I was involved in a case when a lady, so she was diagnosed with something, and she wanted to keep it secret. Okay, I mean, secret, you told me secret, I keep the secret. But she also told her girlfriend, and she said, don't tell anybody. And guess what? This girlfriend said in secrecy, and she had all of this Tehillim group, and she said, and she gave all the name of this sick girl and explained the situation. So many people figure out what maybe because she's like has like a double name, which is a little unique on the unique side. Yeah, I would say so, right? And I mean, so many ladies from different groups then call her and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." I say, well, "What are you sorry about?" Say, "Yeah, we heard that that's what happened." Okay. So of course, this girlfriend, of course, she meant well, and but if you got like specific instructions not to tell anybody, so even if you think it's this is going to be beneficial, so you just don't tell anybody. Okay. So of course they say there's exception is going to we're going to discuss later, but this was not the case of the exception. So a person does not, in that case, this girl, she's not a girl, a lady did not want anybody to know that she's sick. Okay. So, so one more time. The most severe form of avak rechilus involves statement that reveal information which someone told in confidence. Again, if it's said explicitly, don't tell anybody, or it like every normal person understands there's a secret. So it is a secret. Sharing confidential information to save someone from harm will be discussed later. Okay. Divulging secrets breeds the lack of self-control in a speech-related matters that leads to actual rechilus, meaning a person cannot control himself. I mean, right? So in this case, in example that I gave, I think it was more on a productive side, and she meant well, and it's not like it's a useless gossips, right? She was trying to help her girlfriend. That's a little different, but still, right? So why? But not in that case, but in maybe in that case as well. So it's a problem is people cannot control themselves. Okay. When publicized in a secret, could provide prove damaging. Doing so would constitute speaking both avak rechilus and actual lashon hara. Okay, so if it's damaging, so that's a different story. Okay, so it's like avak rechilus lashon hara, meaning so people would think bad about that person. Even when no damage is foreseen, the mere violation confidentiality refers as gossip monger. Okay, so not good to be in that situation. So let me know if we have any questions on what we said. It's very short piece, but very interesting. And one more thing, and maybe I'm going to mention today as well. Beezrat Hashem, that's the plan. That people suspect because they have such a deficiency, whatever deficiency is, we're going to speak about it. I got a piece from my learning with my wife. It's like a commentary of 3 lines, but so deep, and it's actually related to one case. So we had a guest tried to bring him close a long time when we had guests. So this guy was by us like every like almost lived here, but he did not live. Would send him back, so he lived like a mile away from me. So it's like, I don't know, like 20 minutes walk, so it's not a big deal, right? And he told me whatever from his past. I mean, I think if you make I don't know, like a story about it, people would not believe it's too much. Maybe some perverts, but okay, whatever he told me, doesn't matter. And he said, "Don't tell your wife." I said, "Why should I tell my wife? Like, why should I tell anybody?" So he said, "It's secret. It's secret." And after some time, so maybe a few months later, so we sit around the table, and there were no other guests. And he started giving out the parts of the story to like, and my wife is there. She's looking like she's shocked, and then she left to take care of some things, and he said, "Didn't you tell her?" I said, "No, you told me." He said, "He told me." I was sure that he told her the whole story. And then I was shocked. I said, "You told me not to tell." I mean, even if he would not tell me anything, like I'm like these kind of things, you just keep secret. You understand? So meaning that he judged the world by the way he is. That's very interesting. So okay, so let's see one question on a topic, I think. With Rav, how about if a sick person could really use the prayer from the others due to the severity of his/her conditions, but somehow is still too embarrassed for the others to find out? I mean, you can tell. I would say I would suggest get this person's permission anyway. So tell him, like, if it's like a name not out of ordinary name, like I don't know, like there is a million of Abraham ben Yitzchak, I don't know, Yitzchak ben David, I don't know, like all these names, like who knows who are you talking about, right? So you should tell them. So I mean, that there's nothing wrong. People are going to pray for you, and it's proper, and you give them a schus. So like when you pray for somebody, it says that Hashem would answer you first. So like that's how I would explain to a person, right? So you're actually doing them a favor. So maybe they also need refuah, and right, and you actually create good in the world. So they're going to pray for you, and Hashem is going to answer their prayer first. By the way, this sure should be refuah shlema Rachel bas Brindel. Beezrat Hashem. Okay, so that's the thing. You understand? So like talk to them nicely. But if he said no matter what, there are some people, they stubborn, they shy, they this and that. I mean, we must respect their wishes. That's it. So and when he said exception is exception in a case when somebody is going to get hurt. Somebody told you, you know what? I'm going to kill this guy tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's it. I had enough. I have a gun here. You see gun here. He said knife. I'm going to kill it tomorrow. So of course the secret is he told you, but keep silence. Otherwise, okay. So in this case, you're not allowed to keep silence. You have to protect the other person. But this sickness, maybe it's going to like get better. Maybe not. So we're not allowed. Not allowed. to discuss it with others, unless that person agrees. Okay. Okay. Next one. Shalom. Okay, with Rav, can it be considered the tail bearing to give our own tails? If you think it's such a simple question, it's not, and I'm going to explain why. So we're not allowed to tell lashon hara about other people, and plus we're not allowed to say lashon hara about ourselves. Why? Because lashon hara lashon hara is information, derogatory information about the person, about the Jew, and that other people would think bad about him or her. Doesn't matter, him or that doesn't matter, right? So it could be you, or could be your brother, or your neighbor. Doesn't matter. You understand? So, like, if you whatever you said is going to create bad feelings. So I say, oh, I know, like, he told me. You know what? This guy is this and this is like all of the bad attributes. Why? He told me so. That's what he feels. So that's why, I mean, being a rabbi, you have to like listen a lot of to lashon hara, but it's like mostly like I would say for constructive purpose. If it's not for constructive purpose, for example, if I know there are a few people not going to listen to my advice, so I said I don't need to hear that. Okay, I don't need. So unless you're going to follow what I said, I'm allowed to hear because it's for constructive purpose. If you're not going to follow what I say, so I mean I'm as good as your neighbor is a stranger on the street. Like what is the difference? So it's not for constructive purpose. So just to know that somebody is low life, that how they offended you, like okay. You understand? So, but otherwise, like people, of course, I mean, in order to advise person what to do in a personal relationship, husband and wife, or people are dating, or other like situation at work, situation with colleagues, situation with a contractor, this and that. I mean, a government situation. So somebody asked me a very interesting question. So of course, I mean, sometimes I want to faint when they ask, but of course, okay, but that doesn't matter. I mean, I'm there not to judge people, me personally. But I mean, Hashem is a better judge, much better. Like, but my job is to help person. That's why I need to listen as much information as possible in order to advise. Okay. All right, no problem. That's it. No more questions, so we continue. So we continue. We start a new topic that we spoke a lot about, but here is he gives only a few pages. Okay, so our topic, chapter 29, topic is Muktzeh, and it says the halacha concerning Muktzeh on Yom Tov differs from related halachos on Shabbos. In some respect, Yom Tov is treated more leniently than Shabbos, and in other respect, it is treated more stringently. We will discuss the category of Muktzeh concerning which halachas on Yom Tov differ from those of Shabbos. Okay, there are other categories of Muktzeh concerning which the halachas of Shabbos and Yom Tov are identical. Those categories will not be mentioned here as a comprehensive treatment of the Muktzeh beyond the scope of this work. Right. So actually, in this series, there is the whole series. In this, the set is 7 books, and one of them is dedicated completely to Muktzeh. A lot of information. I'm not sure if we're going to cover, but Beezrat Hashem. Okay. So now again. So it's not complete. If something needed, we'll be going to add, but but it's only how Shabbos is different from Yom Tov. Okay, number 1. Utensils of prohibited use. Kelim shelamachtom leisur. So okay. So what does it mean? Utensil whose primary use is for action. That is prohibited on Shabbos or Yom Tov. Kli shelamachta the Isur, such as hammer, may not be moved on Shabbos and Yom Tov except when needed for one of the following purposes. Number one, Lutzerei Gufo, when needed to perform a permissible act and no other implements are available. For example, hammer may crack open a coconut. And B, Letzorech Mekomo, when the place on which it rests is needed. For example, hammer is left on a table, may be moved if one needs to it at the table. Okay. So let's see. So what is Muktzeh? Like as he said in the beginning, there is no like introduction, nothing. So Muktzeh is something that does not have actual Shabbos use, right? So it's set aside. So Muktzeh is set aside before Shabbos that you're not going to use it. Shabbos or Yom Tov, you're not going to use. And the status of Muktzeh derives from acceptance of Shabbos. So some things you can declare, you personally can declare there is not Muktzeh. Not Muktzeh. For example, you have like in summer, it's very hot, and you're in some in bundle or something, and it's very hot, and you want to keep the door open, right? And it has a spring that would close automatically, right? So you want to put stone, heavy stone. So stone itself is a muktzeh. There is no Shabbos use for stone. But in this case, since he declared that this stone is not muktzeh, so every time during the day when it's too hot, so you can put the stone to hold the door. Okay, so that's one of the usage of the object that is 100% muktzeh. It's not this category. It's not, right? So this category is, I would say, the lightest category of muktzeh. Lightest meaning what? That these items have somewhat actual primary usage is forbidden. The best example, hammer, right, or a screwdriver. So you're not allowed to tighten the screw or lessen the screw, right? Untight, not allowed on Shabbos, right? On Yom Tov, and hammer is to build something or take out the nails. Also, it's completely forbidden on Shabbos. Okay, so but you can use this a screwdriver, or you can use this the hammer, right? For some other use, as he said, crack open coconut, some nuts, right? So if it's very what do you call Brazilian nuts? I'm not sure, they're very very hard Brazilian nuts. So you have to have a nutcracker, very good nutcracker, or just do hammer. Is hammer. Okay, so it's like some secondary use. Okay, all right. So in this case, if items in this case, right, in this category, so you might move them, right? So you move them. So first of all, for purpose of using them, and second, for a purpose of if you need a space. Right. For example, it's on you were fixing something before Shabbos starts, before Yom Tov starts, and left it on your chair, right? And now you need to sit on the chair. So, but if it's somewhere in the middle of the living room, yeah, so you're not allowed to. So you don't need that space. So you would not be allowed to move it. But for the sake of the chair, for the sake of for the need of Shabbos, or for allowable use, yes. Or if for example, if something is dangerous, like you have your nephew is coming, he's I don't know 5 years old, and he likes to discover things. So of course he's going to take this hammer and going to test it. So of course in this case you would need to move away somewhere. I would say maybe with a feet or something. Okay, so continue. So this is first category. So the most lenient one. It is forbidden to move utensils of prohibited use simply to put them away or to prevent it from being damaged. Then bringing it from the rain. So you've got it on your balcony, so you're not allowed to take it back. Okay. So and again, this category that has some practical use on Shabbos. So if it's you're doing something with a drill, if you got it on the balcony, that's a different story. Okay. So I mean, it's not in that category. By contrast, a utensil whose primary use is for action, that is permitted on Shabbos and Yom Tov, a keli shelamachtoi lechater, such as chair, may be moved even for the sake of putting it away for saving it from the damage. Okay, so those things, we call it utensil, but they're not muktzeh. So what is not muktzeh? All of your clothing not muktzeh, even if it's out of season, right? So now it's summer, and you have this the snow boots. Okay, so these snow boots are not muktzeh. So if you need to move them from place to place, there is no problem. If you want to wear them for whatever reason, you can wear them as well. Snow jacket, right? No problem. Okay. So clothing not muktzeh. All of the eating utensils not muktzeh, except if it's for example, if in your curio for a show, like there is a plate from your great grandmother, for example, and you never ate from this plate. It's all only on a display. You understand? So such a plate is going to be muktzeh. Yeah, can you eat from this place? Technically, yes. Are you going to eat? No. So it is muktzeh. But otherwise, all of the other eating utensils, all of this, not muktzeh. All of the bed sheets and blankets, all of this, not muktzeh. Okay. Books, of course. Continue. Since many activities are forbidden on Shabbos and Yom Tov, since many activities are forbidden on Shabbos, are permitted on Yom Tov, there are numerous articles which on Shabbos are considered utensils or prohibited use, but on Yom Tov considered utensils permitted use. The most common articles in the category of utensils that for cooking and baking, such as pots and pans, kneading bowls, rolling pins, sieves, graters, and grinders. Candlesticks are also included in this category, which is similar. These and similar articles may be moved for any purpose on Yom Tov. Okay, so let's. Let me see if they're going to give. There is no example, so let's try to do a little with examples. We're going to add. Okay, so it's this. Of course, the main difference, one of the main differences, as we learned in this book, between Shabbos and Yom Tov, that on Yom Tov you can cook from the beginning, right? So, and numerous articles prohibited use. One second. So, of course, on Yom Tov you can cook. Right, and for example, kneading bowls, right? Kneading bowl, nobody is going to do anything in them unless they need. So for sure, they're muktzeh on Shabbos, right? Or some big pots, right? Big empty pots, they would be muktzeh on Shabbos, right? There is no practical use. If it's smaller pot and smaller pot, so for example, that's what we do, right? You cook maybe in a bigger pot, and then you warm up, then they serve food, and after after the serving, you have much less, and you can use to save the storage in the refrigerator, to put it in a smaller pot. Yeah, that would be allowed, but nobody is going to put it in a bigger pot. Unless I'm missing something. You understand? So all of these big cooking pots, for sure, that never used for storage, they're muktzeh. Okay. But on Yom Tov, since if you decided to cook in 3 eggs, we don't cook 2, 3 eggs in a huge pot, it's your own business. Okay, no problem. So they're not muktzeh. So all of the things that have to do with baking, right? All of the sieves, all of this, right, sieves, was rolling pins, sieves, graters. So on Shabbos, one of the Melachah that is forbidden is grinding. So all of the special implements that they use for grinding, absolutely forbidden. right? Or for example, on Shabbos it would be another prohibition is like separating, right? Bad from good. So you would not be allowed to, if you wanted to peel cucumber, right? So you would not be allowed to peel cucumber with a vegetable peeler. With a regular knife, yes, but vegetable peeler, no. But and it's going to be muktzeh. But on Shabbos, on Yom Tov, there is no problem. So it's not muktzeh. Grater, of course. I mean, we don't use grater on Shabbos, but on Yom Tov, no problem. Can you use actually? I mean, there is allowed use for graters on Shabbos. So if you use something that does not grow from the ground, if you want if you want to use for eggs or something, so that would be different. But okay, but usually we try to stay away. Why? Because like if you say there is not muktzeh for eggs, so not everybody knows this rule. So I mean, it's uncontrollable. So next one is the candlesticks, right? Since on the second day of Yom Tov, you should light the candles again. So candlesticks are not muktzeh, and you can clean the candlesticks and candelabra. You can move put whatever you need, so there is no problem. Okay, so continue. Part number 2. Inherently muktzeh. So it's muktzeh mamas gufo. Right? Gufo means the body. An item which has no practical function on Shabbos or Yom Tov, such as stone, may not be moved for any purpose, including performing a permitted act of use in practice. Right? So as we said. But again, it's only when this stone, so a stone is a classic example, right? A stone that was set aside, set aside before Shabbos, there is no practical use. But if we declare there is a practical use, it's not muktzeh. Okay. This category is muktzeh is known muktzeh mechamas gufo, inherently muktzeh, meaning there is not practical usage for these things, like a computer. So stone is good, but computer, telephone. Right? Inedible items that must be cooked or baked to become fit for consumption are considered inherently muktzeh on Shabbos. So you have raw fish, right? So I like frozen fish or raw fish. So I understand in some culture they use they eat raw fish, but I think the way I understand, they eat only some kind of fish, not all of the fish they eat raw. Right? I don't know, maybe the ocean fish from seas, but I don't think, fish, for example, from rivers, I'm not sure if they're going to eat raw. I don't think so. Maybe yes, maybe no. But most of the people would not just cut a piece of fish, like raw fish, and start eating. So usually when it's in sushi or somebody knows what they're doing, that's a different story. Okay. Okay, so this raw fish and raw meat, for example, raw chicken, is going to be muktzeh on Shabbos, so you're not allowed to move it. Why? Because there is no any use. You're not allowed to cook on Shabbos, right? But on Yom Tov, you're allowed to cook. So those things are not muktzeh, or flour, right? Flour for baking. On Shabbos, it's 100% muktzeh. On Yom Tov, it's not, because you can bake. Okay, 1 second. So, okay, continue. This category includes foods, items such as flour, yeast, right? Dough, right? Okay, so of course it's muktzeh on Shabbos, but not on Yom Tov. Uncooked spaghetti, rice, beans, potatoes. Of course, nobody eats potatoes uncooked. And raw meat or fish. So all of these things, since they for sure require some preparation, they're muktzeh on Shabbos, but not muktzeh on Yom Tov. So and you can move them, meaning if they're not muktzeh, meaning that you can move them for whatever you need purpose. So even if you're not going to cook, so you need something. You have like all of the fish, frozen fish, but behind the fish you need you have ice cream. So you can take all of the fish to get to ice cream. That's That's example. Or you can fry the fish, whatever you want. Okay. One practical ramification of this rule is that if freezer breaks down on Yom Tov, one is permitted to move raw meat to another freezer. So that's amazing example, right? Things happen in our life, and if your refrigerator broke, so if it's if this thing is not Muktzeh, so you can move it to somebody else's refrigerator. But I think I mean, if I remember correctly, if your refrigerator broke or you don't have electricity, so if you don't open the door, for example, in a freezer, it's going to hold the temperature for even a few days, right? So we have this like Hurricane Sandy, I think, like 10 years ago, 15, I don't know, many years ago. Right, and we did not have electricity maybe for several weeks. I mean, for other people it's normal, but for us it's never happened before. Okay, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, but few weeks. Oh, Hashem. Okay. Okay, another freezer. There are also numerous non-food articles which are unfit for any use on Shabbos, and thus inherently Muktzeh, but are usable and therefore non-Muktzeh on Yom Tov. Some example of the articles: category of candles, matches, kerosene heaters, and kerosene heaters. I'm not sure how a kerosene heater works. I mean, I'm not sure. Okay, I mean, we got the idea so that you pour some kerosene and you fire it and it gives heat. I mean, the basic idea is understandable. So basically, again, since on Shabbos you're not allowed to light candles, and matches, of course, Muktzeh, kerosene heaters, of course, Muktzeh, and other things as well, right? But on Yom Tov there is no problem. Strictly speaking, cigarettes and cigars are also not Muktzeh on Yom Tov, since some people do smoke. So we will discuss smoking on Yom Tov, but on Shabbos there is no smoking, so that's very simple. But on Yom Tov it is smoking, okay, for some people. However, those who refrain from smoking should preferably refrain from even moving the object on Yom Tov. So meaning what? That if somebody is smoking, let's say for that person, this item would not be Muktzeh. The cigarettes, but for others that do not smoke, it is Muktzeh. Right, and again, with all of the smokers, we said only if person smokes on a daily basis, constantly smoking. So if a person that I know, some people they smoke from time to time, maybe under stress. I don't know how they help relieve the stress, but that's a different story. So that's for them, it's not allowed to smoke on Yom Tov. Okay, so let me quickly see if we have any questions, because we finished 2 parts. 1 second. Okay, I have a question about Muktzeh. Just 1 second. Okay, so let's see. One question for later. Shalom Chabad. For a question about Muktzeh, is it necessary to make up Eruv for this Muktzeh object, such as stones? Or simply doing the verbal declaration would be enough? You don't need Eruv, so for example, if it's in your house or something. But if it is right, so if it somewhere outside, right, from your outside door, and there is no awnings on top of it, that would be a problem. Like there is some entrance to the house, like you open the door and you're on the street. That's the problem. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, Eruv, whatever carrying is permitted, so you don't need Eruv. Okay. Next one. Shalom Kadurav. A question about Muktzeh. Is candlesticks Muktzeh on Yom Tov for people living in Eretz Israel on assumption that people don't really use candlestick to cook nowadays. Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I also thought about it. I think for them it's going to be Muktzeh because there is no, they have only one day. So it's not Muktzeh for us because we have to light the candles on a second day, but they would not. So that's very good question. Okay. So somebody's typing, so I'm not sure. Okay. So we're going back. So okay, so part number 3, Nolad, something newly created. So just make sure that it's on. It's on. Okay, something is newly created. Nolad. Something that came into being on Shabbos or Yom Tov is classed as Nolad, newly created. Okay. There are 2 categories of Nolad. The first is known as Nolad Gamur, absolute Nolad, meaning that these things did not exist before in this world. Okay, this category include items that were not here at all before Shabbos or Yom Tov. So, of course, the most famous example in newly laid eggs or freshly produced milk. Yeah, it was in a chicken. But sorry, it was in a chicken, but it was hidden. But for us, it was not in this world. It was in a chicken, but it's different story. This milk was in a cow, yeah, but it wasn't a cow, but it was not in this world. Have one of our dear students who is a farmer. Very interesting. Right. So right. Very interesting. So actually, I learned a lot from her, like from practical point, right? So I mean, most of the people are not farmers. Very interesting. But she has a farm, many animals. That's Halaf Israel. Very interesting. Actually, and another student of ours she's living in a town where there is not a lot of kosher food. For sure, not Halaf Israel. I mean, of course, like if you order something. So she's making Halaf Israel herself. Very busy person, right? So she would go she said, I cannot do this and that, whatever. She's helping us with something. So because I'm going to supervise the milking, and she would supervise the milking and bring all of the milk. I mean, of course, I mean, I hope she has helpers. She's not a young lady, but she has all the helpers. And then she would do cooking, right? She would do like all of this like daily cooking. Very interesting. Okay, so very interesting. Okay, continue. It's actually this student that I'm going to tell him. We had a clip, like full story about Rav Shmuel Wozner Zatzal, about his mother that was offered like a career in opera, Vienna opera, but this great rabbi said that don't do it, and you're going to bless with a son who is going to be luminary in the world of the Torah, and she agreed and she sacrificed and did not become. I mean, she came from a frum family, but of course people go off the derech. So why did I tell this story? Like, why did I tell this story? Because of Hedora. So Hedora was one of those before they did teshuvah. So she was very brilliant. She won many like a competition, different country, many competitions. And since she was a little girl, and then they did teshuvah, and they figure that it's not modest for whatever she was doing. And she's brilliant. I gave her scholarships on the top universities of that country. Understand? And she said, "No, I'm going to be a Jewish mother." And she quit everything, and everybody were like they did not understand what's going on, and even they want to take the mother to court, like the secular court, because they thought that mother abused her, and it's like her resources of the country. What are you doing to a daughter and this and that? So, but they won the battle, and daughter had to she got married to a kosher person. They moved to Israel. Very interesting. So after I read this story, whatever she said, was very moved, and I said, this story is actually what happened many years ago, right? And that's how this story came about. Shmuel wasn't so. Okay, so continue. The second category, which is known ordinary Nolad, includes the article that were in existence before Shabbos and Yom Tov, but change and assume new form on Shabbos and Yom Tov. So first category of Nolad is never was in this world, right? Like as we understand this chicken egg, right? And what is it? And milk. Okay, but second category existed before before on Shabbos and Yom Tov, but now change new form. So and the most popular example. So you had gravy, right, from whatever you said, and it's congealed, right? And if you're going to pour this warm water, it's going to become liquid. So it changes. If it changes the state from liquid to solids, like on itself, there is no problem. But when you do something to help it, that could be a problem. That's our subject. Articles that are considered absolute Nolad are Muktzeh on both Shabbos and Yom Tov. Articles that are considered ordinary Nolad, not Muktzeh on Shabbos, but a Muktzeh on Yom Tov. And the reason Yom Tov is treated more stringently than Shabbos is, in this respect, is as follows. The sages were concerned that since many Melachahs are permitted on Yom Tov, people might treat Yom Tov laxly, right, and become unscrupulous in observing these restrictions. They therefore imposed this stringency to highlight the sanctity of Yom Tov and strengthen its observance. When Yom Tov falls on Shabbos, the Halachos of Shabbos prevails, and ordinary Nolad is considered Muktzeh. So next section, is ordinary Nolad. And so before we continue, so let's see what we can get from this. Okay, so let's read one more time, and we're going to expand before we go into examples, and we'll see. So the most popular example is what I said, when food changes from one stage to another. Okay, so again, article that considered absolute Nolad are Muktzeh on both on Shabbos and Yom Tov. We're talking about milk and chicken eggs or other things. And I think we discussed snow. Did we discuss snow? I think we discussed snow. So with the snow, it's not so simple. So the background of the snow, what is it? So for example, snow fell off on Shabbos, right? Are you allowed to move the snow? If it's this category, in the first category, there is absolute Muktzeh. It's never existed in this world. You're not allowed to move it, right? But second school of thought is saying no, it was there. It was in the clouds, right? It was there, right? And they would allow it, right? So since one Pesach, I think it was Moshe Feinstein, and on one side that's all in Arab Auerbach, on another side that's all the greatest of the great, one says this and one says that. So only in a case of great need, when it could be a danger for you, for passers-by, if you are responsible for a sidewalk, for example, yeah, you would be allowed, otherwise it would be slippery there, so you would be allowed to shovel the snow, but the minimum of the minimum. So for example, if we have a snow, so I would shovel like half of the stairs, right? Because half of the stairs is enough for people to go to walk. right? You need like the full width of the stairs. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Right, and in some sense, so I would say just I try to make people realize that Yom Tov is a very, very serious holiday, right? I mean, a very serious day. And even though I think if I remember correctly, on Yom Tov you don't get a death penalty from the Beis Din, right? From Shammai maybe, right? But not from the Beis Din. Malchus, yes, right? The lashes, but not the death penalty like on Shabbos. So some people treat it more leniently, right? Which is absolutely not. Right, it's not absolutely not true. Okay, so our sages they added I think 2 or 3 stringencies. So one of them we learned just to remind us. One of them was about animals, right? So you're not allowed to feed the animals. So on Shabbos, on Shabbos, you're allowed to put the food because you're responsible to feed the animals, like in front of the animal. But on Yom Tov, you're not to do that. You're not allowed to do that. You just put the food and let animal come. Of course, if it's if you have a farm and your horse or I don't know, your cow is in a stable, where it's going to go? So of course you put the food there, maybe a little to the side, not in front of the horse. Let's say horse is here, you put 2 feet away, so let it come and eat, right? So just to remind us that today's Yom Tov. So this student of ours from the farm. So she has this non-Jewish neighbor that is helping her. Okay, so she's getting the milk. This neighbor, this and that. I mean, and she's doing some like feeding. Of course, this one student is supervises. Okay, but I said like a few times like. Why do you have to supervise? If she knows what the food for the animal is. Let her feed them. She would milk the cow because she's going to get the milk. Why do you have to supervise? And she said, you don't understand. These people are going to steal. Okay, even though that's how terrible the situation there, right? People are going to steal. Okay, so continue. Okay. Example of ordinary Nolad. So ordinary meaning that it was there, but the status changed. Food which was ordinarily designated for human consumption. Or here we go, and then changed and became fit only for animals' consumption is considered ordinary Nolad. Right? That's a good examples. Or ordinary Nolad. Thus, food that became spoiled on Yom Tov, so that it is no longer fit for human consumption, is Muktzeh on Yom Tov. Right? On Yom Tov, it is Muktzeh. 1 second. On Yom Tov, it is Muktzeh, but animals still can eat it, right? Right. Okay. Similarly, after eating meat, right, the leftover bones are fit only for consumption of dogs, Muktzeh on Yom Tov. Right, so like it is a Muktzeh, but there is a still permitted use if you can feed your dogs, right? But here's is a case. So as an example, something was fit for human consumption, this piece of chicken, and now became whatever leftover became a Muktzeh. These in the category Muktzeh mechamas gufa, inherently Muktzeh. Since such a bonds may not be moved directly, we will provide some solution for removal the meat of meat and chicken bones on Yom Tov. So I mean, when you clean from your plate and you have some leftover on this plate, there is no problem. You can move the plate because it never became. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Bosses. So bosses is something. I Actually, no, but it's never become bosses. It's never bosses. It's a base for a muktzeh, like only on set on Shabbos on Yom Tov. So here it's not bosses because on set it was allowed. Okay, no problem. I'll take it back. So let's see. If bones contain some food remains, they're not considered muktzeh. So what is the food remains? Even bone marrow. So it is edible, right? So there is no problem. It's kosher, edible. So even for example, this time you don't want to eat the bone marrow, so right, it's still not muktzeh. Okay. Or you have a piece of meat attached. Even that doesn't matter how big is it. B. The bones contain no food, but they on a plate, which also has on it morsel of food, some salad dressing or something, like a few drops. That's food, a few crumbs from bread. It is permitted to carry the plate to the trash can. Okay, right? Because plate is not muktzeh, and there is something on the plate that is not muktzeh as well. Even when one is even permitted to put morsel of food on a plate in order to be able to carry the plate to the trash can. So I think that's a great example. So in the case of need, I'm not sure. Like for example, if a person had ribs, right? So and they finish and only pieces of bone left. Okay, so what exactly there is nothing else. So in this case, yeah, you can put a few drops or something, right? Whatever, 1 crumb of the bread, and it's not muktzeh. Okay. Next one, C. If the bones fell into onto the table, and one need to use the part of the table, or one wants the table clean and narrow of Yom Tov, it is permissible to use a napkin or utensils, for example, knife, to push the bones into a plate, which may be then emptied into the trash can. Okay, so let's do this again. So it's something like, of course, don't do it like intentionally. For example, if you eat nuts, right, and you shell nuts, so don't put these shells on a table. Put it first of disgusting, but that's another story, right? So put them on a plate if you need to do that, right? Put them on a plate, but even if it's on a table, so you can move it, as I said, with a napkin, not directly. So indirect moving, only because you need the table. And I would say that the need of the table, even to say Birchas Hamazon, right? So it says in prerequisites on how we say Birchas Hamazon. Of course, like all of these things that every chapter, immodest, the hair of a woman, if she's married, covered, this and that, all of these things understand. But plus, that the table, like when you bless Hashem, you say this prayer, the table must be clean. I mean, if it's a clean, like a cup from your wine, like from whatever, like from the juice, like a glass from the juice, it's not dirty. If it bothers you, please take out, right? There is no problem. But we're talking about the dirty plates for sure. It's not proper. So, and you can take them out even after the third meal, right? The third meal, Sildah Shlishi, and like in many cases, if its plate is clean, for example, a clean plate, you ate something. I don't know whatever you ate. For example, you had a piece of bread, right? And you put some spread on it, right? And that's how you ate, and your plate is clean. So you can keep this plate. It's not dirty. It's not disrespect to say Birchas Hamazon. If you want to take out, so it's not going to be. And if you want to take it out, so it's not going to be preparation for the next day because you're not going to use the table, but it's going to be in honor of saying Birchas Hamazon. Continue. D. The bones, if the bones are repugnant and would disturb the person enjoy Yom Tov, it is permissible to remove them outright. So that's another like great rule. So if something is disgusting to you, so you're allowed to move these things, right? Something that is going to smell bad or something like after fish. Fish is very delicious, but if it stays on like in the heat, it's not going to smell so good, right? So right, I mean from plate, so you would be allowed to wash the plate a little, not wash, but like rinse at least. Right, so not because you prepare it for the next day, but because of the smell. If you're not going to rinse it now, it's going to smell. Okay, so and bones again, if it's repugnant from fish, of course. I mean, if with eating fish with bones on Yom Tov or Shabbos, it's a little complicated, meaning that you're not allowed to remove bones from the fish, but you're allowed to remove fish from the bones. So if you're careful and your family is careful to keep this rule, there is no problem. But if you're one of these people who would forget, right? So I mean, one person continue asking, he said, did we have a class yesterday? I say, of course we have class. We call you. What do you mean? Why would we not have a class? So no, I didn't have a call. I didn't see. Okay, so of course we call you. So I mean, this person like that, of course. I mean, he forgot his phone. He left it. He forgot what day is it, what time is it. Okay, so a person like that, don't do it. Don't eat fish with bones. Absolutely not. So if you have a salmon fillet, maybe from once in 17 years, you're going to get the bone in the salmon. That's a different story. So this person would be allowed, but otherwise, don't do it. But if you're careful and you're going to remove only fish from bones and remove both bones from your mouth or right before you eat, so there is no problem. Okay. So it depends what kind of person you are. So don't trust yourself that I'm all my days I behave in this, but on Shabbos I'm going to behave differently. Okay. So let me quickly see if we have any questions. 1 second. Before we continue to the next part. Okay, so let's see. 1 second, sorry. Sean would continue with the Muktzeh topic. I don't know if Eruv is the right expression or just Sephardic, but they used to cook an egg for used to cook an egg for cooking during Yom Tov. Oh, no, okay. I understand that it's called Eruv Tavshilin. Yeah. Also, but at home. Okay. Actually, there are 2 blessings in a Siddur that should be said before Yom Tov cooking. Thank you, Kodrav. Okay, so that's a different story. So let me. There is Eruv Tavshilin, Eruv Chatzeros. So Eruv Tavshilin is a Halachic mechanism when we're allowed to cook on Yom Tov for Shabbos. That's when we need to make the Eruv, right? So Eruv, when we call Eruv, usually without any classification, it's Eruv that allow us to carry things on Shabbos or on Shabbos, right? So, for example, you have a common yard, right, with your neighbors, let's say they're Jews. It's not Jews, it's complicated, but with the Jews, so you can use your yard, right, together, right. You can bring the baby carriages. You can bring books outside. You can sit in the shadow. You can enjoy it. That's how when you need this Eruv, right? But this Eruv Tavshilin is only needed when you have 3 days. So you have 2 days of Yom Tov and plus Shabbos. So that's when the last time was it? I don't know. It was some few years ago maybe. Right. So in this case, yes, you make these 2 blessings. You have 2 cooked food, one cooked food. Usually we do eggs because the egg is the easiest to take the smaller amount of space, right? Easily identifiable, right? And then you have something that is one is cooked and one is baked. So meaning that you allow yourself to bake and cook whatever you need to do on Yom Tov for the sake of Shabbos. So with these two items, one cooked and one baked, you say that I started preparation before Yom Tov. So you say before Yom Tov, right? Before Yom Tov. So you transfer to a member of your family, right? And you say this Eruv, other people also in my town can cook and stuff like that. Also you can prepare candles, right, on Yom Tov, because candles, yeah, they're not Muktzeh, but only if there is a practical use. But in this case, preparation for Shabbos would not be allowed. You understand? But on Shabbos, you're not allowed to get on Shabbos, after let's say a sunset, you're not allowed to do all of the things on Shabbos, right? You're not allowed to light the candles, anything. So when there are 2 days on Yom Tov plus Shabbos, so you must do all of the preparation of the cooking, candles, this and that before the Shabbos starts. That's why, and right. So with this Eruv Tavshilin, so you allow yourself. So you said I started process before the Yom Tov, right before Yom Tov, and I'm going to continue on Yom Tov for the sake of Shabbos. That's Eruv Tavshilin. Yes. So Muktzeh, when we say Muktzeh, it's Eruv. When we say Eruv, it's Eruv for caring. Two separate, one word, but two separate things. So it's like permission. A good question. So next one. Shalom Rav, a question about Muktzeh in newborn babies. Absolute Nolad on Shabbos, 100%. Right, but since it is pikuach nefesh, so if we don't take care of them, they're going to not going to live. Let's put it this way. So we are obligated to do everything possible for them to save their life. For sure, their life is in danger, and unless we take care of them. So very good question. They're Muktzeh, yes. They're Nolad, yeah. But unfortunately, in olden days. It's very sad. Many babies, if they was carried by 8 months. So today that we have incubators and even 7 months, 8 months, 6 months, right? So you put an incubator, and the survival rate is pretty high. But in olden days, not high. So most likely, unfortunately, if it's baby born before 9 months, the whole stage is new, so the baby would be Muktzeh, unfortunately. So because under 30 days, because most likely the baby is going to die, most likely. So that's very sad. Of course, with today's technology, with some things change, but that's the thing. Okay. But if you know that you have a doctor that can save the baby, take care of, that's of course that's a different story. Okay, so continue. Okay, babies we said. Shalom Kadra. Question about Muktzeh during the 33 days. Do musical instrument assumes the status of Muktzeh? Muktzeh is only something that is forbidden on Shabbos on Yom Tov, but musical instruments. So it says if somebody is, for example, he's or she's a musician, professionals, right? And they need to practice, not to enjoy. We had a neighbor who was practicing. It was nightmare. But now I have a neighbor, next door neighbor. I don't know when she this. It's the oldest daughter of my neighbors. I don't know when she practices, but when she plays piano, it's unbelievable. It's mind blowing. So I hopefully she practices somewhere else. I don't know where she practices, but when she plays, it's unbelievable. But if somebody is a music professional, it would be allowed for them to practice because it's for parnasa. And I remember somebody would play one note again and again. It would drive everybody crazy in the neighborhood, especially when all the windows are open. That's too much. Right, so musical instrument depends who you are. Okay. So, or somebody like a person would be allowed to fix the musical instrument, right? I mean, to put some glue. I don't know, whatever need to be done. Next one, on the lot. If we leave the ice if we leave the ice on the fish head, which some people do eat, does it trend that the bones are now permissible to move, even when one does not usually eat the ice? Okay, I mean the head. I mean ice or the head. And some people find it disgusting, but in olden days it was the delicacy, right? To eat the ice, especially in bigger fish, maybe not small one, but in the bigger fish. But I think if it's a well cooked fish, even the bones are edible, right? There is think you can eat the bones even, right? So yes, it's not muktzeh. If it's bones like a thin bones that nobody eats, even cats are not going to eat, that's for sure muktzeh. But again, there is some like in this spine, there's some edible things. I mean, you cannot like take completely out. So it would be some edible things, so it would not be muktzeh. I continue, the question on instruments for the periods of Omer. If one plays an instrument casually, but still wants to learn a new piece, are they allowed to practice? No, this would not be not be allowed, right? So because it is for pleasure, right? Yeah, even though maybe it's not come out as good as you want it to, but still it is for pleasure. But what we said, it's professional. So a person is playing orchestra, and that's how they make living. So maybe meaning that they gave him like I don't know 2 weeks, 3 weeks to learn their part, right? And that's a very tight schedule. I don't know. I'm just making up the schedule, but let's say like a big part, like they have to perform for 1 hour. Okay. So meaning if the person is not going to practice during the Sefer days, he or she is going to lose their job. In this case, yes, we would allow, because it's not for enjoyment, but it's for the parnasa. Okay. Okay, no problem. So I think we answered the question. So let's see. Let's continue a little longer. Okay, so let's try to finish it. And it says, moving muktzeh for the purpose of food preparation. Okay, the sage is permitted to move in any type of muktzeh on Yom Tov for the purpose of obtaining food item or the article needed for food preparation. For example, if food item is inaccessible because of the stone is blocking, right, blocking it, one would be permitted to move the stone in order to obtain the food item. Where it's going to be, I don't know. Like let's say there is a stone. Okay, so you're allowed to make this stone to get the food item. Okay. Another example would be in a case where the key, in a case in which the key to a food cabinet is in a purse together with money. That's okay. So this stone is a little far-fetched, let's say, but this is good. Like let's say they lock the food cabinet from kids, let's say, and then she would put it in her purse, right, with money, with everything, right. It is permitted to open the purse to remove the key, even though one moves the money in the process. So again, since this item was is very important item needed for Shabbos, so the whole purse. So he's the concept of the bosses. The base of the muktzeh kicks in, because most likely the key it was before the Yom Tov starts, right, in this purse. So this purse became bosses, like base for a muktzeh and non-muktzeh item. So in this case, it's not bosses. So you can use the purse, of course, only to get non-muktzeh items. Okay. the person may be returned to a secure location once the key has been removed. So that's a great rule that we must always remember. So once you took the Muktzeh in your hands, you're not obligated to drop it right away. So even if you picked it up for prohibited use, for example, whatever happened, like after the fact, without thinking, so you're not obligated to drop it right away. So you're allowed to put it in a safe place. So, but don't put it down. So keep it in your hands. Okay. However, the sages did not permit anyone to eat or derive benefit from Muktzeh food item on Yom Tov. Okay. For example, fruit that was attached to a tree at the beginning of Yom Tov may not be removed on Yom Tov, right? Due to the Melachah of Kotzer, reaping. And there is and is therefore Muktzeh. Okay. So the fruit that's still attached to a tree in the beginning of Yom Tov may not be removed on Yom Tov. Okay. So why? Because reaping. That's a different story. So since it is not it was not like edible, like it was not in a permitted category before the Yom Tov starts, so it's still in this category. Okay. So and plus of course reaping is the second issue. And part number 5, and we stop here. It says summary of the differences between Shabbos and Yom Tov regarding Muktzeh. Okay. Utensil whose primary usage is forbidden on Shabbos, but permitted of Yom Tov may be moved for any purpose on Yom Tov. So as we said, these rolling pins, these graters, grinders, all these things forbidden on Yom Tov, allowed on Shabbos. Forbidden on Shabbos, allowed on Yom Tov. They're not Muktzeh. Next one. Inedible food article can be prepared for consumption on Yom Tov and may be moved for any purpose on Yom Tov. Even if you, as we said, even you have no intention to eat it, but your ice cream is behind all of the frozen fish. There is no problem. Right? Since technically you can unfreeze fish and you can cook it, so it's not Muktzeh, so you can remove it, let's say, and get your ice cream. Okay, continue. Next one. Article that change its form on Yom Tov. There is ordinary Nolad. Is a Muktzeh on Yom Tov. See above, so for suggestion concerning treatment leftover bones. Right, so as we said. And also leftover, some people eat eggs on Yom Tov. So what they do, they cook egg in a cholent, right? And this egg, it's absorbed the taste. I mean, some people do. Okay, in my family, we don't eat cholent. It's too heavy of a food. We have other foods to eat, and plus, you eat heavy food, you're going to fall asleep. So what a waste of life, and right? So, or unless you like the whole family enjoy, let them enjoy, and you eat only a little. That's a different story. Okay. Right. So yeah. So when you take this egg from the cholent and you peel it, so make sure that the peels are going to be on the not peel it. Well, you clean the egg. And so you put the shells from the egg on a plate where there is some other food. No problem. Okay, so this egg, this shell is of 100% Muktzeh, but since there are other things that are not Muktzeh, so you can move them. Okay. Then the last one, any type of Muktzeh may be moved on Yom Tov for the purpose of obtaining food items or the article needed for food preparation. However, one may not eat or derive benefit from food item that itself is Muktzeh. Okay, as we said. So the example was this apple that is still attached to the tree, or a cucumber. You have a little garden, cucumber, right? So will be forbidden. All right, so we finished this topic, the whole Muktzeh. I mean, of course, as we understand, we did only summary what pertains to Yom Tov. Of course, we added some extra things, but so at least we get like a pretty good idea, I think. Okay, so there is no questions, I think. Just 1 second. So before we go to the next topic, I want to show what I want with my wife today. So it's on the book of Melachim, base, and chapter 6, and the line is, what is it? Line 13. So just quickly, so we understand the story. Just summary of the story. So it is in day of Elisha, and there was a wicked king, Rehavam, I think. I can't find his name. I don't know. Okay, whatever his name was, I think this Rasha. I think Rehavam, right? And Aramean king, so the neighbor country. So he was trying to capture him, right? To capture, and he did like secretly. Like he would hide in a place that they know that the king is going to pass on this road, and Elisha would send a message to the king saying, don't travel this road because there is ambush. Okay, and he warned this king, king of Israel, even though he was Rasha, right? But Elisha did not care. He said, it's a Jewish king, I have to save him. And he is like warned him several times. Of course, king did not believe. Who believes rabbis those days? Or I mean, any, like all rashayim. They always think that we make up stuff, right? So he sent the scouts. Of course, they checked that yes, it was ambush, stuff like that, and he was saved many times. And this Aramean king said, so who is actually among us telling this Israelite king about the ambushes? He said, no, Your Majesty, it's nobody, it's probably Elisha. Elisha, the prophet, they knew that he was a prophet. He cured this Aramean general, so he's the one who is warning the king. Okay, so far so good. So and this king said, okay, so we have to capture this Elisha and stop him from telling this general. And he sent the army to capture Elisha. So he asked where city he is in. So they surrounded the city. So like logical question, if you say that he's a prophet of God and he had warned the other king, so he knows about your plans, as it says, even what do you think, what is in your bedroom, he knows about your plans to capture a king. How come, what are you counting on that he would not know your plans to capture him? It's a good question, no? Very good question. So listen to this. Who said this? I'm not sure who said it. Before it was Melachah, but denial is a part of human nature, and so is unjustified optimism. People are often convinced that something is so only because they wish they wish it to be so. So people lying to themselves, and I see it like many times. Somebody told me like their plan, whatever they plan. I say, you normal? Like how you, like, it's very risky. How it's going to work? Say, no, that's me and my husband with the same the plan. Of course I cannot say what they say, but it's like too much. It's not thought through, but hopefully they're not going to do it. Cancel their plans, but that's what. So what is the problem with this general? What is the problem with these people, right? So again, the denial is part of the nature, and human nature, and so the unjustified optimism. So say no, it's going to work. So all of the odds against them. So all of odds against this general say no, everything is going to be fine because I want it to be fine, so it would be so. Okay. So listen to the second commentary. It's only a few lines. It says, Malbim suggests that the king had no intention to harm an Elisha, right? So of course it's prophet. He wanted to bribe him. Bribe a prophet of God, right? Why? Why would you think so? A king thought that Elisha was as corrupt as he. Here we go, punchline. We actually had one clip about it. Not about this, but similar idea. A classic case of someone projecting his own immorality onto someone else. So, and it's you see that people would blame you. So you're trying to be righteous, you're trying to be holy, you're trying to be what you are, you're trying to be modest, and they, guess what? People around you, they're going to accuse you of all of immorality crimes ever. Like you said, like, why would you say so? I'm trying to stay away from this. No. Say no. You know why is they like this? Because they're going to make up things. Why? Because exactly as it says here. Right, so this classic case of somebody is projecting his own immorality onto someone else. So this king thought that I'm corrupted, so meaning that I can bribe Elisha. Understand? That's priceless commentary. It's only 4 lines. Okay, very nice. All right. So let's do a little of this book. Okay, so there is one more question about Muktzeh. Rav, can one move a Muktzeh item to get something that is not related to the food preparation? For example, the book is under the telephone. Yes, but you cannot remove the telephone. So, for example, somebody don't put anything on the books. First of all, there is a law like the holiness, the status of the holiness of each book, whether it's what is it, Tanakh, like a Chumash or something, like a different stages of holiness. So you cannot pile one on top of the other. So like Chumash, like 5 books of Moshe, you can put on any book. For example, on this book, you can put Chumash, you can put like prophets over these prophets and Shulchan Aruch, I guess, but or Rambam right on top of this. But this book you cannot put on Rambam. This book you cannot put on Shulchan Aruch. And this book you cannot put, of course, on Chumash, on Talmud, of course, right? So in this case, let's say it was different book about story of tzaddikim. Let's say even though it's not proper, so you can take a book and just like shake off the telephone. That would be appropriate thing to do. Okay, so let's continue. Just 1 second. Just want to see. So we continue with B1. So let's see. Going a little back. So so part B. We started part B, and B is factor number 2. And it says psychological, physiological state of the individual's minor early persons and centers. So all of the examples, all of the, I guess, exceptions. So we start with these exceptions. So B1. So yesterday we cover the list. I'm not going to go over the list again, but we start with details. B1, rabbinical level Yichud with a katan or katana. Right, so katan is I guess a boy, and katana is a girl. So under 13, I think, and under 12 for a girl. Right, Yichud of the adult with katan, minor. There is under 13 years old. Oh yeah, exactly. Can be either Yichud midrabanan, rabbinically restricted, or even permitted, depending upon the age and maturity of a minor. So katan again from the baby right until he's 13. Okay, so we'll see. For example, a woman. For a woman to be in yichud with a boy of age of 9-10 years is yichud medrabanan. However, she, right? So meaning yichud medrabanan meaning she's not allowed to, right? When we say yichud, it means it's not allowed, right? Medrabanan, okay. However, she may be secluded with a boy under 9 years old. It follows that a normal teenage girl may babysit for a boy who is under 9 years old, but not for a boy who is older. Right, so that's all of the high school girls, that how they make their own money, right? I mean, if we're talking about we're talking about babysit in a boy's house, for example, when there is nobody else in the house, or babysit in your house when there is nobody else. But when there are other siblings around, his mother is around, but she's working, let's say, right? She needs to concentrate on her work, and she needs somebody to take care of this little kid. So that's a different story, right? So it's not Yichud, right? So, but this teenage girl under 9 years old, boy is not it's more lenient, right? Why? Because as we said, only after 9 years old, his relations, intimate relations, count as a relation. But before that, usually they not as mature, physically mature. Girls, of course, much earlier, right? It's as we said, from 3 years old, but boys from 9, right? Continue. In any case, Yichud of a woman with a boy above the age of 11 should be regarded Yichud midaraisa. So yes, he's not there yet. He's not a man yet. He's not 13, but after 11 should be regarded Yichud midaraisa. Young children under bar mitzvah and bas mitzvah can be permitted to be in Yichud with each other. Young children under bar mitzvah and bas mitzvah age can be permitted to be in Yichud with each other. See by further for elaboration. I mean, we need an elaboration because these kids can do a lot of damage, I think. Okay, so continue. B2. Yichud of a man with a minor above the 3 years of age. Right, so as we said, so boys are 9. Under 9 there is no problem, but girls under 3 no problem. But after 3 there is no touching. So you should not, if you have little girls, you should not allow all the stranger men touch them, like hug them or something, like keep them away. Okay, so absolutely forbidden. So again, a yichud of a man with a minor above the 3 years of age. Yichud, okay, a yichud of a man with a girl. For example, non-relative or non-erva relative, such as niece or a cousin, over the 3 years old, who has not yet reached physical maturity, that is under 10, 12 years old, is forbidden midrabanan. So this is not yichud midaraisa, because the girl of that age is not true erva. However, if the child is an erva relative, for example, sister-in-law, yichud could indeed forbidden midaraisa even before reaching maturity. So before we continue, let's try to understand this piece. So again, for girls, the prohibition is from 3 years old. Okay. So yichud of a man with a girl, for example, non-relative. So meaning, right? So like they would write not relative or not erva relatives, such a niece or a cousin. Okay. So technically, they can get married. Right? That's what they say. Like right, not relative. You can marry your niece and you can marry your cousin. Okay. I'm not sure if today they're accustomed to marry a niece, but in older days it was actually, in the Talmud days, it was actually very commendable to marry your niece. Okay. Continue. So if you have this girl over 3 years old, who has not yet reached physical maturity, so over 3, right, but not yet physical maturity. For example, under 10, 12 years old, it is forbidden midrabanan. So from 3 years old until this 10, 12, it's forbidden midrabanan. So it is forbidden. Okay. This is not yichud midaraisa because the girl has not reached the status of true erva, meaning to have relation. She cannot. So 10, 12, for sure she can. I mean, unfortunately, right? Right. But before this age, she is not true erva, but forbidden. However, if the child is an erva relative, for example, sister-in-law, so meaning erva relatives that he's not allowed to marry her, right? His sister-in-law, Yichud could be forbidden midaraisa even before reaching maturity. So that's how dangerous to say, we visit in family. Yeah, if you visit family, all of you visit family. Don't send your child to visit the family unless there is like no Yichud situation there. I said that Yichud of an adult male with a girl above 3 years old is forbidden in ordinary circumstances. Men should be aware of this little-known halacha. For the further discussion on Yichud with minors, see below further regarding Yichud between minors. There is a boy with girls under bas mitzvah, so it's not so simple. We're going to discuss, but again. So men with a girl above the 3 years old, so but before 10, 12, right, before she's mature, so forbidden in ordinary circumstances, unless there is I don't know what is it like. I mean, somebody is sick, there is nobody else to take care of her. That's a different story, right? Men should be aware of this little known halacha, right? So okay, no, forget it. Okay. Okay, so continue. B3. So let me see how long. So B3. Halachic applications regarding Yichud of minor in a difficult circumstance. So here we go. In difficult circumstances, Yichud is permitted with a girl who is an erva relative under the age of 9 years old. Okay. Not an erva relative. Okay. Some poskim permit Yichud with a girl who is under the age of 12, extremely difficult circumstances. I'm not sure what it would be, but okay. Extremely difficult circumstances. However, one must not resort to this leniency before consulting competent halachic authority. Right? And unfortunately, there are many stories when relatives rape the little girls, right? Even the grandfathers, even fathers, even fathers, even their uncles. All of this, many, and the girls were afraid to tell it. Many situations, unfortunately, right? So a man must be very very strict with that. Okay. So under 9 years old, under difficult situation, right, and under 12, extremely difficult circumstances. Okay, next one, B4. Yichud with a very elderly person. Yichud of a man with a woman is forbidden, even if she is very elderly. Right, she's 97 years old. Right. Similarly, Yichud with a woman and Yichud of a man and a woman and with a man is forbidden even if the man is very elderly and infirm. Yichud is forbidden even if both persons very elderly. So again, our sages wanted to give us the universal halacha because somebody is 90 years old. I mean, you don't know what is in their mind. Okay, so many situations. Okay. Continue. So it doesn't matter. She's elderly and he's young, or she's young, he's elderly, or both of them elderly, right? It follows that due to the halachic issues of Yichud, a woman may not be hired to take care of the elderly man who lives alone and required an aide or live-in caretaker. Conversely, only a woman, not a man, may be engaged in as an aide or an overnight nurse to care for elderly woman who lives alone. Okay, so that's like a home attendant, we call it here, right? And we believe it's in high demand is actually male attendants. So of course they were home attendants. Of course they were not allowed for them to take care of a woman, but for a man, yeah. So many men prefer women attendant because they're more careful and more nicer, I guess. But some of them prefer men, and it would be proper. So somebody consulted us about your father, elderly father. We said, yeah, take men. Right? I mean, if this not good, I think you can change him if you call the office and said send me somebody else. Like it's not like you're stuck forever. Like just because he's a man, that it has to be like I don't know, like right somebody uncaring. So you can find men in this field who, of course, they do it for money, but also because they qualify, because they have this character. For me personally, I would not be able to stand to work in this field for 1 hour, for example, right? But some people can. So 1 second, let's quickly check time. Okay, so let's do this few more parts. So it says elderly sibling who requires each other care. However, there is a basic for to permit elderly sibling, for example, unmarried brother and sister, to live alone together, especially when one is ill and required to care of the other. So, and we have the situation. We have the situation even in my block. We had a few couples like that. Okay, and not couple, but your family like that. Elderly. We always thought that the husband and wife, but they were not. Okay. Number 2, elderly person requires nursing care. Okay. In difficult circumstances, when the elderly man requires nursing care, a Rav should be consulted. Some poskim permit Yichud if man is very ill and otherwise clinically impotent. Although discretion is required to avoid any misinterpretation on the part of the bystanders unaware of the man's impediment, leading to the notion that the prohibition of Yichud may be trivialized. So let's read again and try to understand what it says here. Right? These things is talking about maris ein. So technically, right, if this man is need very special attention, like nursing care, elderly man, right? So Rav should be, but because people would suspect that is allowed to begin with, or something is improper there is going on there, so it's not so simple. So one more time, some poskim permit yichud if a man is very old, very ill, or otherwise clinically impotent, right? But how maybe very ill does not mean that he's 97 years old. It could be he's 27 years old, for example, right? Or 35 years old, 40 years old. Like it does not mean that he's 17 years old, right? A very sick person. Okay, so that's the thing. But here we're talking about elderly men. Right, so okay. Some poskim permit yichud with men with very ill or otherwise clinically impotent, although discretion is required to avoid any misperception. I don't know, like who you're going to who you're going to notify. Not notify. I mean, it's too much on the part of bystanders unaware of the man's impediment. So maybe at least they can say that he's very sick or something. He's bedridden. Okay, leading to the notion that the prohibition of yichud may be trivialized. So that's this muddy sign that people say that's not a problem, or I mean not a problem meaning it is allowed to begin with, or they would suspect that something is wrong going on there. Okay. So, and last one, and we're going to stop. So, B5, Yichud with ill or disabled person. As a rule, state of minor illness, for example, flu infection, etc., does not permit Yichud, even if a patient is confined to bed. So that's not the illness we're talking about. As this condition do not reliably preclude conductiveness to Arias conduct, right? So a person can have flu, and he might have bad thoughts as well, right? This implies whether the patient is a man or a woman, and also to a child who's reached the age of yichud. Okay, So I think we're going to stop here to be continued. As you see, like in some books or some websites, like Halachic website, they of course they like dedicate like half a paragraph, like half a page or full page that tops like on this topic. But when we delve in depth, you see how many pages. It's like unbelievable. Okay, very nice. Right, no problem. So let's see if we have any questions. 1 second. Let me quickly see. Okay, so let's see. Rav, is overnight lip mask allowed on Shabbos? I have no idea what is overnight lip mask. Basically, it is a small gel sheet for your lips. Gel is a problem. Gel, you see, to take care of the lip overnight to prevent them from being dry. No, that's a problem. Can you put this before the lip are dry on Shabbos? So I would say you would not be allowed. So you're not allowed to apply all the creams. And the Melachah is smoothing, right? You cannot smooth the surface, whatever. And of course, the way I understand from this explanation, if you apply this gel to the lips, and even if you're not going to like say even squeeze it, so still it's going to be absolutely forbidden. So what is allowed if somebody has like severe like rash or something, like some wound or I don't know some kind, right? So you would be allowed to put a cream, right? But you're not allowed to smear it, right? So but you like to put some like what is it, gauze or whatever is it, the piece of material, and press it so it would be like spread indirectly. Gauze, whatever the name is, right? So but because it's like because infection like this and that, but in this case absolutely not, because people can live with dry lips. There is no problem. Okay, so I think there was one question. Person said it's for later, so let me go back. Okay. So first question from before the class, after quick research, I found out that the bad breath is mainly caused by sulfur producing bacteria which remain in the debris present in a ton, okay, when not cleaned properly. It is a scientific hint that Hashem gave us to infer that it is in a spiritual that it is a spiritual sense. If we don't keep our tongue, the speech clean, we will carry the piece of gehinnom, sulfur, in it. Does it make sense? I think it makes very much sense. Hashem, yes. Sulfur is this not a good smell, and it says it's despised by the people of all walks of life. So for example, some people like I don't know. I like the smell of fresh paint. I'm not oil based, but water based. Like I love this, but some people they find it disgusting. So and some people like this smell, that smell, and some people right. So different opinions. But sulfur, everybody agrees that it's disgusting. Why? Because our Rashi on that page said that because it is like most likely this souls have like a memory for a gehinnom, right? Before putting come here, and they like discuss, they're scared, and they're disgusted and scared. So as it says about Bilam, right? So he got disgusted. Balak, he got disgusted from Klal Israel and says, why are you using the word disgusted? like you got scared. This no. When somebody is scared of someone something, they discuss it with that. So that's very interesting. So this sulfur is from the gehinnom. Yes, I think makes sense. So okay. A question for later. Thank you very much for this note. Thank you very much. Correct. Is Shabbos makeup allowed? So there is they call it permanent makeups. I hope I'm using this name correctly. Meaning that if you're going to apply lipstick before Shabbos on Friday before the Shabbos starts, it's going to stay for 24 hours, right? So meaning on Shabbos it's not allowed, like for lipstick, right? Because it's smoothing, right? You smooth your lips, and second is a coloring, so two melachas. Right, same like coloring if they like put this powder and stuff like that. Okay, so I think those are all questions that are not related. Okay, to what we said. Okay. Okay, so a few new questions. Okay, lip mask. Okay, it is more like a sheet / mask. It's like thin jelly like strip. I would say no, but don't do that, right? Because it's very similar to what we described is the ointment. Shalom Kodra. A question about Yichud. Does the prohibition of Yichud apply to men who are halachically prohibited to get married to the physical deformities? I think absolutely. It's 100%. I mean, right. There is. I mean, we're going to get to this category. I think that this category from this section. I think where we said all the disabilities that we're going to discuss. Okay, next one. When installing software or the like is given check mark to I have read the accepted terms and condition without reading is lying. Not sure if anyone read those. Okay. So basically, I mean, they do not care if you read or not. Right? They care for you to put a check mark. So it's something comes out, so they can sue you or something, or like cancel your license or something. That's what they need. So without this check mark, they're not going to sell you or give you for free whatever software is. So it's obligatory. So you just do. Okay. And plus, if you I mean, unless you're a very educated lawyer, if you start reading this stuff, like most of the words is mumbo jumbo, the huge words, huge sentences, and anyway you do not understand, and like they telling you that they're going to find you guilty no matter what. So basically, if you want to use it, still use it. So usually it's not nothing crazy. It's not like you signed a blank piece of paper in the court or something. Okay, so continue. Rabbi, do we need netilas yadayim after we take shower or when we use the restroom? So it's very good question. So we say after a person touches the hidden part of the body, they have to wash netilas yadayim if you're planning to pray or study Torah, right? On one hand. On the other hand, they say, why is that? So I scratch my collarbone. What is the problem? They say, yeah, because most likely all of the hidden parts of the body have sweat, and this sweat is dangerous. So and as we learn in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, so all of this sweat from the body is actually is a poison. Is a poison 100%, except the sweat from your forehead. So this is, I mean, of course, don't swallow it, of course, but it's not dangerous, right? So and it's dangerous, and like poisonous. That's why our sages say you have to wash your hands because of the sweat. So technically, if a person, usually people go to the bathroom before they take shower. Not everybody. Okay, so if person just wash themselves and they so initially and they did not touch themselves, they use the sponge or the washing cloth to wash themselves. So technically not obligated to wash netilas yadayim, but after the restroom 100%. Okay. So next one, Shalom Rav, question about respecting Sefarim. If both books are elaboration on the mother application of halachas, for example, halacha vichur, halachos on Yom Tov, right? Can we put one on top of the other randomly? Yes, there is. You're right, 100%. They're in the same category. So there is okay, so gradation goes like that. There is chumash. Chumash meaning when you have 5 books. So for example, in my house, so I have chumash that I read, but I did not finish my Torah, weekly Torah portion from last year. Guess what? I did not finish 1.5 books. So I did Ramban that year, and well, whatever happened. So now I'm catching up. So like since the days are longer, so in the winter there was no way for me to catch up. So now Beezrat Hashem, I'm catching up little by little, because I have like many more extra hours to learn on Shabbos. So I do it only on Shabbos, on the Shabbos day. So I have this Ramban, which is a separate book. So I cannot put this Ramban on top of the Chumash, which has 5 books, because the Chumash that have 5 books is higher in the holiness than one single Sefer. Understand? So that's also very important. But that's one category. Second category would be Tanakh. Tanakh, all of the books of Naviim and Ksuvim, meaning all of the Novi, like Novi as we learned today from Kings, it's Novi, and from and Ksuvim, which is you want to learn book of Kinos, you want to learn Megillah Esther, you want to do Psalms. So Psalms is actually also one of these holy books, right? So Psalms you can put on other books, right? And then you have Halachic books, like of course the Mishnah is the higher. So don't put Rambam on the Mishnah, absolutely not. Mishnah is higher than all of them, is the oral Torah. Then a little lower is the Talmud, right? Because it will get later Shulchan Aruch, and then all other Halachic books, of course, like Rambam and other Halachic books. So they are pretty much on the same level. Okay, Rambam and Shulchan Aruch. So okay, and then all of the mother books, as we said, these Halachic books, and then all of the stories and all of the like Torah related or Jewish related topics. They have no like inherited holiness unless there is about big tzaddikim and and stuff like that. But they are the lower part of lower stage of the holiness. Okay. So next one. Hypothetical question about modesty and marriage. Okay. Should the wife refrain from dressing immodest clothing not to trigger the husband? Is it valid concern if the husband has a large yetzer hara, or since they are married, this would not be necessary? One more time. Should the wife refrain from dressing immodestly, immodest clothing, not to trigger the husband? I mean, if they allowed, she's allowed to trigger the husband, and it's opposite is shown. So it says in Shulchan Aruch that a woman should not be like vulgar, so like immodest, like talking, right? So how? And even though it's her right for conjugal rights, right? It's her prerogative. So she should entice him like otherwise, without talking to him, like in vulgar language, right? As if she would dress like this, he would get the hint what is expected of him. Understand? So there is no problem. There is no problem. Of course, it's not when he's learning, when not he's praying, but otherwise, yeah, when there is no problem. Right, so he's Yetzer Hara, but it's Yetzer Hara for something positive. There is no problem. Okay. Okay, so I think we answer all of the questions. So let's do maybe a little story. So continue with our story. Okay. So just to remind us what happened. So it is a story, mixing up frying pans, just to remind us. The problem was that Reuven, right, so he was having ofruf, this preparations for his son to get married, right, and he decided to fry chicken cutlets in his house, and there were 90 chicken cutlets to fry, a lot of chicken cutlets. I'm not sure how many, like it depends on the frying pan. I don't know how many you can fit in one, plus it takes time. I'm not sure how many, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but whatever is it. So from two sides, it's a lengthy process. And he went and borrowed the frying pan from his neighbor, Shimon, right? And Shimon gave him a frying pan. After they've fried all of these chicken cutlets, when Reuven was returning the pan, the Shimon said, "I apologize. I actually was coming to you and to tell you I'm very, very sorry, but this frying pan was actually used for dairy. So now the question is, what was the question? So there were 4 questions that were raised, and I'm going to remind us that there's the question and we continue. So our cutlets are permitted, right? Because the Halachic permission batal berov, meaning nullification of the majority. And what does it mean? Since there were 2 kosher, right, meat frying pans and 1 not kosher, I mean 1 dairy, so meaning that the majority of the chicken cutlets are kosher. So maybe they swallow, meaning nullify this dairy. So there is no way to differentiate. So that's the first question. Second question: cutlets are permitted due to batal berov, right? If right, may Reuven feed the guest without telling them about the incident with the Melachah frying pan, right? So after the fact, of course, let's say they're allowed to be eaten. Do they have to tell the guest, right? Do they have right to know, or since it is allowed, so it is allowed? But if, for example, if a person would act strictly in his house, stringently, for whatever reason, right? I mean, we don't tell people what to do. The halacha is like that. They want to be Hasid, act stringently, or okay, let them do that, no problem, right? If so, must Reuven pay him for it, okay? So, right, number 3, if frying pan is now treif, right? I mean, you can kosher, let's say you cannot kosher, let's say, right? So Reuven got this frying pan by mistake. He did not intend to ruin, but he after the fact he ruined it. Thus he has to pay to Shimon. Okay, so let's continue. So next section, it's I think it's the longest story from this book. Okay. So rabbinic basar v'chalav. All opinions agree that the above with above, when mixing the meat and milk, it is forbidden by Torah law. So that's not a problem, right? Chicken and milk, which is forbidden only by rabbinic law, right? So basar is a meat, red meat, right? Like a bigger animal, cows or the goats, right? Lamb. Right, so that they would be like it's by biblical law. Chicken is rabbinic law, and that's why we said when we learn in our kosher kitchen. So after the fact, you can give it's chicken with what is it with the milk. Like after the fact, you can give like to your animals, right? So okay. So chicken with milk which are forbidden or rabbinical is subject of debate. So Shulchan Aruch Yoreh De'ah 83.7. Continue. Rav Chaim ben Attar writes that our sages did not give chicken and milk the status of new entity forbidden food. Okay, so new entity, so Nolad, right? We already know what is a new entity. Nolad is only with meat and milk, but not with chicken. Okay, so we're leaning toward the leniency, right? Therefore, the chicken absorbs the taste. When the chicken absorbs the taste of milk, it can be still battled off. So after the fact, so battled off because of the majority, right? Again, the frying pan was clean, absolutely clean, even though it was used from in the morning. So she was for frying the daily blintzes or something, but it was clean. So of course there was a taste that was absorbed in a frying pan, but technically, like majority was chicken, so it would be for sure more than 1:60. But continue. So one more time. Therefore, when chicken absorbs the taste of milk, it can be still battled off, as if it had absorbed any other prohibited taste. Okay, as we explained. I don't like when they spell it in English. It's hard to read. Chachita chareua lechaskabe thus would not apply in our case of the chicken cutlets fried in milchak pan, and all the cutlets would be permitted, right? So meaning that this taste would not be absorbed. So meaning that you would not serve this to important guests. Okay, no problem. So that's why it's going to be permitted. Okay. So meaning this milk or this mixture. Okay. The Prima Garin in Mitzudas Zachar 101, section 3, argues even rabbinically forbidden basar v'chalav, meaning this chicken and milk, has a status of new entity of forbidden food. Okay, so exactly opposite, which is not battle thereof. So it cannot nullify, right? Because we're talking about not a rabbinical prohibition, but actually it is rabbinic with a biblical prohibition, right? Biblical prohibition. Okay, so continue. The Kaf Chaim. In section 14, accept this opinion as a halacha. Therefore, the accepted opinion is that all 90 cutlets are forbidden, since the thorim are fried in milchak pan are not battled thereof. So that's a big issue, right? So let's see. So far, if they are complete pieces, they are fit to be served on king's tables. That's the problem. Okay. Next section: cutting the cutlets. Okay. One solution to the problem might be to cut all of the cutlets into small pieces, such that no one piece would be fit to honor to important guests. The forbidden pieces would be in battle thereof. Very, very interesting solution. So, I mean, to put the complete chicken cutlets about a plate, like a very important person, that's respect. But if you cut in pieces, like, what are you doing? Like, did you steal this piece? Like, it's left over from yesterday? Like, what's going on? Right? So this cut pieces of these chicken cutlets, they lower the status of the food, and maybe now it may be for allowed with this nullification. If this were to occur accidentally, the entire mixture of the pieces would indeed become permitted, right? However, in Nevat Nevatlin isur lechatchila. One must not deliberately nullify the forbidden food, right? So you cannot. So if you have milk fell into the meat, for example, so if it's 1 to 60, there is no problem. But you cannot eat add meat to that. So after the fact, right? If one did so deliberately, the mixture remained forbidden. So because why? Because to begin with, this mixture is forbidden. So even you add more meat, it's not going to solve the problem, because you adding the meat already to forbidden thing. Just to simplify things. Okay. So if it happened accidentally without you planning, like after the fact, lechatchila, no problem. But b'diavad, like after the fact, no. But lechatchila, but for yourself create the situation, absolutely not. This would certainly be true if the cutlets fried in a milchak pan are forbidden by biblical law. Okay, biblical law. However, since the chicken and milk are forbidden only by rabbinic law, so nobody is arguing, we enter the debate between Shulchan Aruch and Rima. So Shulchan Aruch is Shulchan Aruch, and Rima is Ashkenazi authority. So many times Rima is not agree with Shulchan Aruch. Many times it's exactly opposite. He goes by who? Okay, that doesn't matter. He sides with another authority. Okay. So continue. Sorry, Mom. The Shulchan Aruch holds that even rabbinically forbidden. Shulchan Aruch holds that even rabbinically forbidden foods may not be mixed with permitted foods intentionally, but if they accidentally got mixed with the amount sufficient to nullify them, one may add additional permitted foods in order to nullify them. So that's amazing insight from Shulchan Aruch. So in this case, just to remind us what we said last time we said that. So 1 second, just checking something. Okay, I think we're good. So last time. Sorry. So last time we said that there are 3 piles, right, of the chicken cutlets, and there is no way, or even 1 pile, or whatever. Maybe they like combine them together. So basically, like after the fact, there is no way for us whatsoever to identify which chicken cutlets are good, which is not good. So there is no way. So it was mixed unintentionally, right? Exactly as Shulchan Aruch says, and exactly as that's our case. So one more time, the Shulchan Aruch holds that even rabbinically forbidden foods may not be mixed to permit food intentionally, right? So, but in our case, nobody did anything intentionally. But but our foods are forbidden on rabbinical level. But if they accidentally got mixed with amount sufficient to nullify them, one may add additional permitted food in order to nullify them. So that's now we're going, as we see, we're going from one direction to another direction. For example, an ounce of milk may not be deliberately mixed within the 61 ounces of chicken soup, right? The amount necessary to nullify it. So meaning it was not enough milk, so you cannot add like last ounce of the milk to have the whole mixture allowed, right? However, if an ounce of milk were accidentally fall into the 30 ounces of chicken soup, one may add another 30 ounces of the soup in order to nullify it. The Rima argues that this too is forbidden. So we go by, Ashkenazim go by Rima. That's why I said outright we don't do that, right? So that's how I remember the halacha. Okay, so like if it was accident and it was 60 to 1, okay, there is a nullify. But if even it was accident and it was less than 60 to 1, it would be forbidden. But I think according to Shulchan Aruch, I'm not sure what Sefarim would pass, and I guess they would go by Shulchan Aruch that you might add, I think, but I don't remember learning this in details. Okay, so continue. Rabbi Akiva Eger, close to Shulchan Aruch 1017, applies this debate to a case such as ours. Okay, so let's see. If rabbinically forbidden food accidentally gets mixed with permitted food, rabbinically forbidden food get accidentally mixed with permitted food, okay, but is not battle thereof, there is no majority, since each piece is fit to the honor of important guest, right? Shulchan Aruch would permit cutting them in small pieces to make this battle, while the Rema would forbid it. So Shulchan Aruch, we see it's on a lenient side. He said, if it's individual pieces, big pieces. So when all of the classic example, we said that you have a stew and you have some milk fell into the stew, or some, as another example, you have a milk and some chicken soup went into and it's dissolved, right? So, but that's simple and straightforward. Now we're talking about the mixture pieces. So if individual piece, so they on its own, that's important enough to serve on a king's table. That's the problem. So Shulchan Aruch says, cut it in small pieces, so it would not be important and as important to put on a king's table, and that's it. It's a battle. But Rima said absolutely not. Okay. Oh, here we go. Apologies. That's bottom line. Sefarim tradition follow the rulings of Shulchan Aruch, while Ashkenazim tradition follows the Rima. If such a story were happen to an Ashkenazi, then rather than throwing all the cutlets away, he could sell them to Sephardi who could then rely on Shulchan Aruch to cut them in small pieces and make the battle thereof. Very interesting. So whatever is forbidden for me is not forbidden for my Sephardi friend. So I mean, it's not like it's like. Of course, you have to explain the situation, and if he wants to do a favor for you, 90 cutlets, it's a lot. I'm not sure how many pounds of meat. A lot of pounds of meat, a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay. Ashkenazi would not transgress the prohibition against inciting others to sin. So, like putting stumbling block in front of the blind. Because why? Since according to Sephardic custom, it is not a sin at all. Again, so to cut it in pieces, right? And then it is allowed. See Minchas Shlomo, chapter 1, volume 1, chapter 44. Furthermore, there is no problem for Ashkenazi benefiting from the sale, since the prohibition against benefiting from basar v'chalav applies only to the biblically prohibited basar v'chalav, meaning meat and milk. Here we're talking about chicken. Shulchan Aruch 87.3. Whereas chicken and milk is forbidden only by rabbinic law. Okay, I mean, we don't discount the rabbinic law, but technically it's not, practically it's not on the level as a biblical law. Okay, so let's do a little more and we stop, I guess. May the cutlets be cut up on Shabbos? That's a very good question. Even the Shulchan Aruch permits cutting up. So what is the problem? There is right away you can see the problem. What is the problem? The problem is as I remember correctly, makik b'patish, right? Meaning the striking the last blow, making something permissible that was forbidden. That's why we're not allowed, for example, deep plates or something, utensils in a mikveh on Shabbos. Why? Well, let's say there is eruv. Let's say. Right? Let's say there is a mikveh even in your building, let's say. Right? So you would not be allowed to do it. Why? Because before Shabbos it was not permissible, so now you make it permissible. You do some action that makes something permissible or suitable, whatever is it. Even the Shulchan Aruch, who permits cutting up the cutlets, would forbid doing so on Shabbos, since the rendering forbidden, food permitted. So it was forbidden, now it's permitted. One effectively fixes the broken object, right? So it was broken. I mean, in sense, Halachic sense, which is forbidden on Shabbos. Mishnah Berurah 232, section 37. And commentary says, the Mishnah Berurah refers to a case of adding permitted food in order to nullify the forbidden food. Okay? Not cutting up the forbidden food. Nevertheless, the comparison still valid. Meaning, the comparison is that something was forbidden. Now we make it allowed. Okay. So I guess let's stop here. So we got to the next solution. Okay, let's stop here. I mean, we're going to split it in several parts. It's very, very long, and since it's a very technical detail, so I don't want overdo it. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions on what we said, or technically on any topic. Ooh, okay, a few questions. Okay, so first question, further up, on the subject of beetle and blood in meat. If while we are eating it, pulling the meat apart, we see blood emerge in a chicken cutting. Is it safest to most stringent? Is it the safest and the most stringent to consider it garbage and chorus to eat, or there is a beetle consider it's less than 60 parts? Okay, so that's a very good question. So once they do proper shchita and once they drain all of the blood, and even if you find the blood, I mean, you can see the package. You buy the piece of meat, for example. I would not buy it, but that doesn't matter. People buy on styrofoam what is it, tray, right? There is some red liquid. So guess what? What is a red liquid? There is a blood, right? Not red. Apologies. Like pink. It is a blood, but it's not blood. It's not blood. It's not halachically not considered to be blood. Once the chicken meat was koshered, is it blood inside? Can they get all of the last drops? Absolutely not. But is it blood? Absolutely not. So you understand. So halachically there is no problem whatsoever. Not in chicken and not in meat. So of course, you wash before you cook. You wash in rinse, not wash, rinse or wash, whatever you do. My wife, I think she washes, right, in a cold water, right, and that's it. So, but even if you don't wash, so after the shchita, there is no need for 60 parts, no chorus whatsoever. Okay, so it's kosher. If it's kosher, it's kosher. Okay, next one. So, question about honoring Shabbos and cutting nails. Okay, for women with manicure, fake nails, do they need to fix the manicure or reapply the fake nails after cutting their nails before Shabbos? Okay. So the thing about the cutting the nails, if we go to the idea of cutting nails, it's for honor of Shabbos, so they looks nice. So if they have fake nails, I mean, I think they always look nice. So are you obligated to cut nails? I mean, underneath, I mean, I think usually people do, but if you don't, so there is no problem. So since your nails fake, on top even, they seems kept, there is no problem, no obligation, right? But if she wants to do this, she can cut and then put them back, no problem. Or if it's a manicure, to apply manicure, because some people, some women, they get embarrassed. They have something is missing. They would scratch the rest because they're embarrassed. That's too much, right? So it would not be allowed. So make sure that it's a fresh, what is it, coat. Okay. So next one. On the issue of a king trying to bribe Elisha Hanavi. Okay, does it also? Okay, I mean it's one of the suggestions. When let me give you the summary of what happened before I continue reading. So they surrounded the whole camp of Elisha, the whole town. So I'm not sure how big it was the town. The way I understand, they before that it says that they moved next to Jordan River because it was too crowded in the previous place. So it was a town, not town, doesn't matter, right? But they surrounded, and one of the attendants, younger fellow, he woke up very early and he saw that the army, this king of Aram, he surrounded at night. He said, I want to surprise Elisha, right? So surrounded at night, and when this guy woke up, he almost had a heart attack. That all of the people, the whole army, the chariots, all of the warriors, ready to go to capture them, right? And he said, "My master, what should we do?" And he was in panic. And Hashem said, "Oh, why are you worried? We have more warriors than them. More warriors and chariots." And he prays to Hashem. So Hashem would open the eyes of this his student, and he saw around this army there's a chariots of fire and warriors of fire, angels of fire. They're going to fight with this Aramean army, and Hashem is protecting his beloved ones. So, and as we said a few times before about his own honor, Hashem does not so care. Right? People insult him, do kill Hashem, he would not do anything. But if somebody goes against beloved of Hashem, like Prophet Elisha, the holiest of holies, Hashem would not let it go. You understand? So he would protect this person. And Elisha was confident. What did I do to deserve it? Absolutely not. I was whatever I did was for the service of the people, right? For the service of Hashem, right? And he prayed that Hashem opened the eyes, spiritual eyes of this student, and he actually saw, right? So he actually saw what this army. Okay. Right. So what I'm trying to say is, are you going to bribe with this army? Maybe to force somebody to accept money, right? So say, look, we can kill you, but we prefer you to be friends with you. Just take money or gifts or whatever. Okay. So continue. On the issue of king trying to bribe Elisha Hanavi, does this also work inversely? Okay, what does it mean? When a person might think that whatever he's asking for is because of the other party is similar to him. For example, I'm thinking about Santa Claus, who claims that God needs his mitzvahs because in reality he thinks that God is like him, okay, and that he has needs like the human, chas v'shalom. So that's amazing, brilliant example. Yes. So he cannot because some things it says that Hashem has with a strong arm he freed us. Characters there. Ramban said of course there is no corporal body of Hashem. There is nothing. If you think that he has parts and body parts, you're kofar, right? So you're heretic. So he does not have parts. Right, but it says that for us to understand in human terms, we have to understand somehow that he took us out. How? With a strong arm. So that's easier for us to understand, right? And when people hear these terms and they ignorant, or in this case arrogant, very arrogant, so they say Hashem is like me. What is the difference, right? So I was before I was trying to talk to this Nolad, this guy. I think I said yesterday he wants to learn Kabbalah. I don't know, he wants to hire me, right, out of all of the people. I don't know, to learn Kabbalah with him. I don't know why is that, all right? And he wants to even pay me money. So and said for Nolad this and that. So he said, but what is it? No new Kabbalah. This. All other like Avraham Avinu was Nochait, all of this. So like this person compares himself from Avraham Avinu, this Shmendrik that does not know the left and right, and he dictates what to learn, what not to learn. I told him I can send you purpose of life. He said no, I want to hire you to learn Kabbalah with me. Like you understand? So some people like that this clown as well. See, he compares in his mind. So what is the difference? What is the difference? I also know the mind of Hashem, how I learn the Torah, and I know mind of Hashem. And if I don't, I make it up, and he's like me, right? So, but it's all start with these people who compares themselves to somebody, and I have these cases like coming on a daily, not a daily basis, like weekly basis, semi-weekly basis. These people, they compare themselves to the greatest rabbi. I don't know from where. Like, why would he? Like he did it. Okay, he did it. So this lady sent us about Bruria. Put in this tefillin. I said, Bruria put tefillin. Correct. Yes, it says in the Talmud, but check what was the end of this Bruria. Right? Not so honorable end. Like, so, and of course they compared themselves from Bruria. They didn't know how to wash their hands, like before the bread, like after the bread. Okay, that's the problem. Yeah, so they compare themselves, and yeah, that's the huge issue. Very good parable. Okay, another parable comparison. So next one. Shalom Karovarov, question about kashrus and spiritual damage. Spiritual damage, okay. I actually, why I'm smiling, because that's, I am debating if we should make a clip. I have material, but I'm not sure if I can fit it in the, in 1 minute. It's a lot, but it's actually, there are two versions. So we learn the Sefer gehinnom. So one version, the Sefer gehinnom, I'm not sure if he follows Rambam. I don't remember details, but he's proven that we learn the laws of Treifa, right? And with the laws of Treifa is the translation is a torn animal. One second, let me set. So torn animal meaning the wolf attacked this sheep, and that's it, right? That classic. But actually, I would say there is 8 categories, like what the damage was the cloth, and it says in the cloth of the animal or the bird. It says in the animal there is a special like bacteria that they like a special infection that even the animal did not die, but it's going to die soon. So meaning treifa, it's not going to survive more than 12 months after the wound, like internal wounds, it says, like all of the vital organs, stuff like that. So altogether, there are 72 different conditions, like health condition of the animal that make it treifa. Just so we know. And Sefer gehinnom says that it's actually the non-kosher food affects like health of a Jew. Not as we know, like as we used to, like this definition that spiritual would that affect the soul, like needless to say, but even the physical health of the Jew. So there is, I mean, he goes this direction. Rambam, I think maybe it's Rabat direction. I don't remember exactly, but Rambam said that it's more spiritual. He always he mostly follows Rambam, but sometimes he sticks with Ramban, Nachmanides, or with Rabat. Okay, no problem. So, right, so it's spiritual, or just so we know, there is a very strong opinion, Sefer gehinnom, very important work, a Halachic work. I mean, maybe not, even, yeah, sometimes we learn Halacha from there. Right, he said that there isn't physical. Okay, just introduction. A non-kosher meat get mixed with a kosher meat, and it is beetle 1 to 60. If one eats one bite of the mixture, and the bite happens to be non-kosher meat, does it suffer spiritual damage from it? No. Okay, so that's a very good question. Once it became permitted, it is permitted. That's it. So it's not. So all of the pieces became permitted. since it is mixture. That's it. Okay. Next one. What is the difference between nullifying 1 to 60 and nullifying with majority? How do we define the majority in ratio to Torah? So biblical majority is majority, 51%, right? But the rabbis say 1 to 60. So right. So in case of the great need, so we can they allowed us under circumstances, as you saw, we're in additional conditions. So is it fit to be fed to important guests? Like, is it individual pieces or cut pieces? So all of this. So in this case, in order to make it permissible, is it on a biblical category? Is it Nolad, right? A new entity. So new entity, basar v'chalav, it's a new entity, meaning meat and milk. So it's on a biblical level, new entity, right? But this with the chicken is not on a biblical level. So as we saw, there is a few opinions. So they go back and forth. It's, I think so far this book is the longest piece, right? So, but we're going to split it few sections. Okay. So I think. Let me know if I mix any questions, because I think I cover all of them, but let me know if I missed anything. Okay, no problem. Nothing. Okay, no problem. Okay, somebody's typing. 1 second, let's wait. Okay. So, and while person is typing, so they so it says in Sefer gehinnom, but today, so we assume that most of the animals are kosher, so they're healthy, not kosher. Forget it. They're healthy, and that's why we're not obligated to check for all of the 72 like possible issues. And it says so 71. So the two opinion. Well, according to one opinion, 71 is in meat and in animals, like wild animal, domesticated animals, and birds, and 1 is only with the birds. And the second opinion, Ramban, I think say the 70 common, and 2 only by the birds. But it doesn't matter. It's like still the same concept, right? So since there is hazakah is like certainty that the animal is healthy, right? Is healthy. So unless we suspect something, we're not obligated to check. But there is a problem, always a problem, not with birds, but with meat, is lungs. So lungs, since there is there is no hazakah, no certainty that it is kosher, so we have to check. And a glat, the word glat means that it's smooth. Right? When it says glat kosher, meaning the lungs are smooth, unless we suspect. And it's very interesting. It's also they say if there is disease, different disease, right? Different disease, different disability of this animal, and it's not covered by Shulchan Aruch, not by our sages. So first of all, whatever it says in Torah is, of course, it's from Hashem, but also in everything in categories. So all of the rest of all of this 71, let's say, so one is from Torah, right? From written Torah, that was animal that was stored in the field, and the rest of them is from our sages, right? So not from our sages, from Halacha Moshe Misinai, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu passed down halacha through all of generation, that it's considered on the same level. Remember, on the same level, halacha Moshe Misinai, on the same level as it's written in Chumash, exactly the same. So even though today they say no, the disease are curable, the animal are not going to die in the next 12 months, we go by halacha. If Hashem said it is treifa, so they gave us 12 months is some some I don't know tip, but but still, whatever in this category that it's animal is going to die in 12 months, so it's treifa. And whatever is new diseases or new defects this animal going to develop, it's not in one of this category. So even though it's considered to be sick, so for us it's not treifa basically. And one of the examples I would say that thank you for checking that all covered. And one of the examples would be old animal, right? Old animal. So if it's like just old, it's going to die in less than 12 months. Let's say person say, no, I have to shecht it because it's going to die like maybe soon, maybe in 1 week, maybe in a month, maybe more. I don't know. We don't know. So this the age of the animal does not make it treifa. That just because it's going to die for sure in the next 12 months does not make it treifa, because that's not what Torah says. But Rambam, that's all, said, and Beezrat Hashem, I'm not sure, I didn't decide yet, but we'll see how much we're going to cover from Hilchos Dios. We'll see, but it's a part of that section about the foods, what is good, what is not good, how take care of your health. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll see. We'll figure out. Right, so there he would say that old animals, for sure, it's not good. Are they kosher? Yes. Are they kosher? Yes, but not recommended for your health. Younger animal, yes, and not too often, not too much of red meat. Chicken is preferable. Lighter animals, lighter meaning the goat and the sheep, is better than the bull and the cow. But it's one of this category allowed but not recommended, right? So it's kosher, 100% kosher, but not recommended. Okay. So no more questions. So let's stop here. Thank you very, very much for learning with us. So please join us tomorrow, same time. We're going to continue with our kosher kitchen class. So thank you very much. Good night.